Hey folks, I'm Modelers. Today I'm back for another update on the CVN-78 USS Gerald R. Ford from Magic Factory at 1/700 scale. So this is part 1 and I've moved on pretty quickly on the build itself. So there's a few things I want to talk about and show you. So I'll just immediately dive in. So what you're looking at is the entire hull attached and the deck here. So I've fitted this deck, but the thing is, I think in my kit review video, I did show that the deck fit very perfectly to the hull, but after all sponsons were attached, I think the sponsons, since it's attached to the hull, it probably deformed the hull a little bit. So the fit of the deck, I think, has become not so good, and there are certain areas where you see you get this kind of thing. You can hear that. So it's probably because the hull itself has been pushed inward. So the plan, the idea of not gluing the deck, I don't think it's a workable idea anymore. And this kind of floating becomes even worse. So yeah, definitely the deck has to be glued shut in this case. So it's just a matter of you want to leave the hangar bay outside or inside. So okay, let me just run through with you quickly. So I've attached, I think the first thing I did was attach the bottom hull to the upper hull with the bulbous bow. Then of course there are seam lines that has to be cleaned off. And okay, so these lumps over here, these small details, and there are a lot of these hole details. So these things were, it's in the way when you want to sand off these seam lines here. So not so easy to do sanding. And then same goes after all these sponsons are attached. There will be gap lines, and these are all using taps at certain locations. So you will get some seam lines, and especially over here there is this detail. So not easy to putty or sand here, but I did, I think you can see all my sanding marks. So same goes on this side. These smaller sponsons fits were better compared to this huge piece here. And for this huge piece of sponson, it didn't really stick well to the hull, because there's only that edge down there that sticks to the hull. So in fact, it keeps cracking off. Even I super glued it. So I added some reinforcements, and you can see it's really, I applied so much super glue, so it started frosting off. But inside, it doesn't matter if it's dirty, it will not be seen. And especially this edge here started cracking up. So I applied a lot of cards and just poured so much super glue onto it. I think now it's quite firm, but still I'm a bit afraid that it could crack up at some point. this one here, same thing. Basically I applied the liquid putty in all these seam lines here, and okay, I can see that this thing has already cracked up. So this thing actually did, you know, I did bend it. I keep gluing it back, but I think finally, no. This is one of the most fragile things. So I think this will fall off and I will have to glue it back. So basically, after all sponsons have been attached, cleaned up, I painted the deck. So the deck is actually painted, and then I masked it, and then I did a second painting. And just for note, you know, since I've built quite a number of carriers, I always thought the American carriers, the deck and the catwalk was the same color. But this color guide indicates that the catwalk is actually darker gray than the top deck. And also all these decks on the islands, they are in a darker color. And the color given, the darker color is this extra dark sea gray, which is the C333. And the deck color would be the C317. And this instruction, they don't really tell you that this is this color. There is nothing indicated on this over here saying that this is referring to this color here. So you actually have to like look at these colors and guess that, oh, okay, so this is this, you know. It's kind of confusing. I mean, for me it is, because I had difficulties initially trying to guess this gray and this gray over here. Then I realized that the darker ones are for the catwalks over here. So I'm not sure if it's just for this USS Gerald that it's, you know, having different color, or it is like that for all carriers, even like the old USS Enterprise or the Kitty Hawk. But in my other builds, you know, I've painted the catwalks and the deck in the same color. But since here is indicated like that, I will paint it differently. So those are the things that I've realized. So after painting the deck, there are a few areas here. So these are some catwalks in here. So I had to mask this, paint this. And after this, there will be a lot of masking on the darker sea gray. I'll just show you here. I have cut out all these parts for the mostly for the islands, and painted it in that dark sea gray. So these will be all the catwalks, which I will have to mask this, because the bottom side will be the hull color. And I've tried to, you know, assemble the mask, and there's no way you can get to certain areas if, you know, especially the catwalks, which are like, it's gonna be almost hidden. I think this one probably goes somewhere around here. So yeah, this kind of areas, you know. So for me, I will paint this first, and then paint this in the hull color, and then start assembling it. Maybe for some people, they will just assemble the entire thing and and then paint it. Okay, like for example here, I mean, in this down here, there's no way, I don't think a brush can even get in there. But even if it did, you will probably smear the other areas here. So I will paint all these, then assemble for the island. And this mast here, yeah, this is gonna be a bit tricky because these decks are gonna be in that dark sea gray and the rest will be in the hull color. So yeah, I think masking all this is gonna be so tedious, and yeah, I think basically the assembly was quite fast, but now I will probably start to slow down, having to mask all these parts here, and also the catwalks. And there are two catwalks here which is attached to the deck, and yeah, I will have to mask that, then paint that hull color. And also another thing to note is in this painting guide, all these edges are the same color as the deck, but I've seen photos that actually the edge is the hull color, which is the lighter gray. So I have masked it in a way that, you know, there is that edge over there. And this edge is actually, if you touch it, it's actually slightly higher than this deck here. And in photos, yes, there is this thing, but the strange thing is, over here, there is even that little bit of that, you know, it's slightly higher on this edge. But it's a bit strange, it's kind of strange because this is where some aircraft will launch. And that step over there, if it's really there on the real ship, I mean, maybe if the aircraft did not, you know, take off in time, I think the landing gear will hit that and it will be damaged. So I don't really know whether this edge should be there. I was thinking of taking it off, but yeah, well, I just left it there. Okay, so those are some things I noticed about this ship. So after this, yeah, a lot of masking jobs to do. And for this kit, I think once the decal painting comes in, I will definitely slow down a lot. But the build was quick, and especially these sponsons, there was a lot of parts that went into these sponsons here. But it was a quick build, I think. And this ship has this kind of like cavities over here, and I think there is no way to, you know, paint that deck and that whole in a separate color. Even like over here, there's so many of these decks. So I think these will all end up having to be the same hull color. I don't think I will be doing painting that deck over there. And it's very, you know, it's not really visible anyway, like this kind of holes. And I doubt when I airbrush this, the paint will even get in all the way. I might have to hand brush it once. And there are also these decks here, I just sprayed it with the dark sea gray. But I think you know that this wall over here have to be in the hull color. So the painting for this this kit is that I think the challenge. I think assembly wise maybe not so bad. And over here I have these two pieces of the catwalks. I did paint this, and I will mask this, then maybe paint this part first before attaching it to the top deck, because or I could attach this first, but if I attach this first, that masking job will become a bit more challenging. But I think I better paint this edge first, and then just glue this on, and then I can paint the entire this bottom side with the hull color. So there are these some ejector pin marks here, but I think here will be covered with these sponsons here. So yeah, I think still a lot of lots of things to do. And once painting's done, I will attach it to the deck, and then I think I will do decals. So I think this is how it's gonna look like. I know probably I will face issues when I start attaching the deck, and it's not gonna be easy because it's like, you know, it's having this kind of float. I think you can hear that. It's probably that rib on this here hitting this hull. It's not. I think the hull has actually been being pushed a little bit inside because of these sponsons, you know, after I've attached these sponsons. So I'm guessing that's what's happening. And these, I have completed all these elevator decks, and okay, so these other parts are actually for this stern area here. And for this piece, I had to glue it on first because there was some cleaning to do, because it's actually attached to the hull, and yeah, there was quite a big seam line there which I had to clean, and over even on this edge here. So I used some stretch spruce to fill it in and just sand it as much as I can. So yeah, I will have to start attaching these parts here after I paint them, before I shut the top deck. And okay, these elevator decks, as all kits, aircraft carrier kits, they do not sit in the, you see, you will just like, yeah, it does not sit horizontally. So yeah, this is always the case with the kits. So it's either you glue this, and there's always that gap over there, which I don't think it's there on the real ship. I mean, if that gap is there, I don't think the aircraft can even go on this elevator deck. So for this kit, I think I'm not gonna put the elevators down. I will probably just put them all in the upper position. Just glue it on, to the deck, which is way much easier than leaving it here at the bottom. And I'm planning not to put this hangar bay in here, so the door wells will be shut anyway. And since, you see, like I said, they had intentions of leaving the hangar bay out because they gave 6 of these. So these can be attached to the hangar bay to the hangar bay open, and then you can still have these on the ship, so you can actually leave this out of the kit. And yeah, okay, so I have a question, maybe to the viewers or to some people who knows a lot about this ship. Okay, on this painting guide, nothing's mentioned about the hangar bay, and I did look at a lot of photos, but I couldn't tell what should be the color of this hangar bay deck. Should it be the top deck's color, or all the catwalks this darker color? Basically, in the color painting guide, this will be for the hull, and this is for the top deck, which actually is a very light gray, and that catwalk is this 333, which is the much darker color. So top deck and all the sidewalks here. So but I'm kind of guessing that the hangar bay deck should be the darker color, because over here on all these door wells, the bottom here, I think they should be in the darker color. So if this is darker color, you know, of course that the hangar bay deck should be the same, you know, it should be having that same color. For the walls, I know I've seen it's whitish. I think it's a very light gray, or probably even white. I can't figure out. Okay, I think it goes this way. So yeah, I painted this in that the dark sea gray. Could be wrong. Could be the lighter color, which, okay, I have a little bit here, so it's totally different in color. So anyway, you know, you can let me know if I painted this in the wrong color. But if this is in the light gray, all these door wells here and also these door wells will be in that light color, I believe. Then it's gonna look a bit weird, because all the catwalks gonna be having dark and that's gonna be the light. And you know, like these sponsons here, I don't know, to me it would look strange if it's light gray here and dark gray over here. So that is why I painted this in the dark sea gray. Yeah, so I think I've covered most of the things that I wanted to talk about. These sponsons, yeah, it gets a bit dirty because I had to super glue all these, because I'm always afraid that if I use regular glue, it's just gonna pop out once you completed the ship. So I super glue, and then, you know, smearing happens, and basically I just cleaned it, sanded it, and that will be the stern area there. Oh, by the way, this kit is not really, you know, as perfect as what everybody says. You know, when I touch these sponsons, there was like so many seam lines that I had to sand everywhere. So, you know, you can't escape the sanding no matter how good that kit is. And same goes, this is a two-piece. So there was a seam line there, and yeah, well, all these, because it's a two-piece, so that, you know, I think, yeah, it's still same like a regular kit. Okay, and one last thing. I know this video is very long now. Okay, so I've drilled through these holes over here. These holes, because I've seen photos on the real ship, it's a true hole, but the part itself was not. And I drilled it after I glued it, so it was kind of difficult, and I think I did break this part over here. My camera's not really focusing well, so yep. So I drilled, there's one small and one big hole, and for this front one, this was very difficult. It was not a round hole. Not sure why my camera's not focusing. Yeah, so yeah, this one's a bit dirty. Lots of holes there. I drilled through them. On the on the real ship, yeah, it's all, you know, through holes to probably reduce the weight of the ship and also the wind factor. So anyway, okay. Not sure what's wrong with my camera not focusing so well. So I've done yeah, I think most of the big parts on the, you see all these screws, it's almost all finished except for the smaller parts, and also completed the stand here. So yeah, after this I will do a lot of masking and painting, then decal. So after this I will slow down. Hopefully next week I can bring another update for you. So this is all for the build update on the CVN-78 Gerald R. Ford, USS Gerald R. Ford Magic Factory. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll be back for more. So as usual, happy modeling, and cheers for now. Goodbye.